Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Today is the beginning of the talks on the Dhamma of Peace series. We'll call it DP series. DP series number 1. Good and evil. Kusala and Akusala Dhamma. So when we say good and evil, it can be interpreted in many different ways. So first, one need to understand what is good and evil from the Buddhist perspective. Paliwa Kusala is a good or wholesome deed, speech and thought, which are faultless and blameless. That's what good from the Buddhist point of view. It neither hurts or harms oneself and others. Good actions or activities produce good results or consequences with happiness. It is like a mango seed growing a mango tree. Apple tree cannot grow from a mango seed. Just like that, good results come from good action. Direct correlation. Akusala, that's another Pali word, is an evil and unwholesome deed, speech and thought that is faulty or full of faults and blameless. It hurts and harms others, including oneself, and produce rotten, lousy result with suffering. That's what akusala or evil means. It is the opposite of wholesome action. So, to be happy, living without suffering, one must avoid evil and do good, wholesome actions. Kusala, or we can say Kusala Dhamma, eliminates or destroys Akusala Dhamma. That is the relation between the two. They are opposite to one another, and kusala or wholesome actions destroyed or eliminates akusala Dhamma. There are three categories in Kusala Dhamma. One is generosity, dana. Second one is precepts, sila. And the third is mental development, bhavana. So there are three different divisions. They eliminate suffering and give merits of happiness and peace. So let's talk a little bit about dana, generosity. Generosity promotes letting go, which is the opposite of grasping and attachment, lobha. You cannot let go of things or service or time if you are attached to it. Only when you are not attached to it, when you are not grasping on it, one can let go. It benefits others and makes everyone happy, including yourself. A worthwhile event to do. Because think about it, whenever you give something and when you see other people happy, you also feel happy. Just by giving things away, just by doing charity, letting go of things that you own makes you happy. That is generosity, dana. But when one is attached to things and beings, things, materiality, beings are living beings. When you are attached to things and beings, that is called akusala Dhamma, unwholesome Dhamma, attachment. When you are attached to it, one cannot let go. You hold on tight. And for some reason, against your will and wishes, if one loses them, you experience pain and suffering. That is what attachment or akusala Dhamma does. The next category is precept, sila. In Buddhism, there are many different levels of precepts, and one can take up a certain level, whichever is suitable for you. There are 5 precepts we all know. Refraining from killing, stealing, sexual misconduct, false speech, and refraining from taking intoxicants. That's the basic for a Buddhist. Don't think it is easy. It's not easy. And then 8 precepts, 9 precepts, 10 precepts. And for the monks, there are 227. Let's call it precepts. It's called Vinaya, rules and disciplines that one must follow, a monk must follow. Those are precepts. It keeps one on a straight, narrow path. Why is it straight and narrow? Because on that path, one doesn't hurt or harm anyone. These precepts curtail unwholesome speech and deed, but not thought. It will refrain one from doing things or speaking bad and false speeches, but not the thought. The thought can still go wild. One will still transgress upon others in the thought level, but it never arises to speech or deed. When you observe it, it protects one from regret, remorse, and suffering, and brings peace and happiness. So that is another wholesome action. Kusala-Dhamma. Precept, Sila. And the third one, and the most beneficial of the three, is mental development. In Pali, it's called bhavana. It makes one mind pure of mental defilements. Watching closely or observing things, activities, produce an understanding of materiality and mentality's nature. The insight from observations eradicates craving and attachment, which is the root of all suffering and evil. So, 3 categories. So let's build up a little scenario and try to understand what we are talking. Suppose someone pickpocket your watch on the way to a meditation center. That make you upset and angry. You believe your anger is justified based on the event. I'm angry and it's justified. But the fact is, you allowed evil consciousness with anger to occur. You allowed it. And when there is anger, only you can feel that anger, which makes you irritated and frustrated, agitated. The person who stole your watch doesn't know your pain. So, anger is faulty and blamable, and no good result or consequences comes out of it. So this is a very specific. We try to put a situation and discussing it. You're angry, then can't help you're angry. But one can apply wise attention to relieve or stop anger. Okay. Which means you are not allowing that consciousness with anger to arise. How? By applying wise attention. By reflecting like this. Now the watch is gone. It's lost. There's nothing I can do about it. And it is old and outdated watch. And I can get a new one with more useful features. And they are not that expensive. A wise and positive attitude will subdue or stop your anger. However, the reflection technique, the wise reflection technique, cannot permanently eradicate anger from your mind. The thought of the stolen watch and anger frequently appears while you meditate, because you are on the way to meditation center and now you are meditating, but the thoughts come again, and whenever these thoughts arise, you are angry again. Anger arises again and again and again, along with the thought of the stolen watch. So what do? We must observe the anger repeatedly and penetratively till it dissolved. They arise, you stare right into it, you observe it, not superficially, penetratively. And the purpose of this observation is to know the true nature. When you observe, these thoughts and anger disappear, and they arise again, you observe again, they arise again, you observe again. And the purpose is to know the true nature of anger. And if you observe that way, you will feel, or you will see, or you will know anger has aggressive and explosive characteristic. You are not thinking, you are feeling and seeing the anger, and you can feel its aggressiveness and explosiveness. That is the true nature of anger. It will cease to occur once you know its nature experientially, not theoretically, but experientially. And how do you get that? By constantly watching the anger whenever it arises. So, there are two techniques to subdue or eliminate anger: wise reflection technique and deep constant observation technique. Reflection of anger with a wise attitude is like dousing fire with a 1/4-inch water pipe, which will definitely subdue anger. But observing anger to experience its nature is like using 4-inch pipe, 4-inch water pipe. The latter will completely overwhelm the anger. When one constantly observes or watches the body and mind, Nama Rupa, one will come to know their nature. It has the power to overwhelm the evil, or specifically saying 10 unwholesome actions. Evil, the 10 unwholesome actions. 10 kilesa, 10 types of kilesa. This 10 action is the detailed version of the 3 mental defilements. We all know what 3 mental defilement is: lobha, dosa, moha, greed, anger, and delusion. Let's see the natures of these 3. Lobha's nature is wanting, grasping, attaching, and the power of pulling things towards oneself. That's the nature of lobha or greed. Dosa or anger is aggressive and explosive. Moha's nature is indecisive, confused, and foggy. When one repeatedly experiences and understands the nature of evils by constantly observing, of course, the perception of I, me, and mine becomes less and less, giving rise to less conflict and more peace. A case in point is that when consciousness with anger dissolves due to constant observation, the mind suddenly becomes light and happy. That's a desirable result, beneficial result. Good actions produce excellent and comfortable result. Kusala produce excellent and comfortable result. Constant observation, which is the wholesome action, Kusala Dhamma, destroy the anger, which is the harmful, unwholesome action, akusala Dhamma. We already said Kusala Dhamma eliminates or destroy akusala Dhamma. But now we set up a little scenario and explaining it. When you observe the anger consciously, the anger dissolves and one become happy and light. And good action, which is observation, produce excellent and comfortable result, which is light, happy and peaceful. So constant observation, or you can call it the wholesome action, Kusala Dhamma. Constant observation is the act, which is wholesome action, or you can call it Kusala Dhamma. Destroy the anger, the harmful, unwholesome action, akusala Dhamma. If you want happiness, engage with kusala, wholesome actions. Observe all things that arise. And if you are successful, it will eliminate suffering and become peaceful. So may all of you be able to avoid the evil, akusala actions, dwell in good kusala Dhamma, and purify the mind by constantly observing without any breaks and gaps, and attain the end of all suffering, which is supreme peace. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you very much.